time continues its steady march forward, there's one unavoidable truth we all eventually have to confront: aging. No matter how hard we try to cling to our youth, it's a battle we're all bound to lose. One day, you wake up, glance into the mirror, and suddenly realize that the reflection looking back at you has changed. It goes beyond just wrinkles or a slower pace. It's a quiet, deep understanding that time is steadily slipping away and that life no longer feels like it once did. The world begins to appear different, and you're suddenly staring down uncomfortable truths that no one ever quite prepared you for. But here's the thing. These painful realizations often carry with them some of the most powerful lessons. Lessons that, if we're open to accepting them, can completely shift how we live the rest of our lives. Today, we're going to dive deeply into those hard realities. So if you're ready to uncover the most vital and often overlooked life lessons that come with aging, be sure to stay with me until the very end. And before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on content that adds value to your life. Let's explore these truths together. And by the time we're done, you just might see aging from an entirely new perspective. Number 1. The world keeps moving without you. As the years roll on, you begin to notice something that no one ever really warns you about. The world keeps moving, and it doesn't wait. Not for you, not for me, not for anyone. This truth creeps in quietly at first through small, nearly invisible changes. Phone calls that used to be regular start becoming rare. Family gatherings start to fade in frequency as everyone becomes engrossed in their own hectic lives. You watch as people you were once close to move forward, building careers, raising families, and chasing new experiences. It's not personal. They haven't forgotten you, but their lives have taken on different rhythms and new priorities. Time seems to move faster for them, and you may begin to feel like you're being left behind, watching life swirl around you without being fully a part of it. Those familiar social circles that once gave you comfort gradually shrink. Friends who used to be fixtures in your life now show up only occasionally. Meanwhile, technology advances so rapidly it's hard to keep pace, making the world feel increasingly unfamiliar. At some point, you find yourself looking in from the outside, wondering when the disconnect started. It's a haunting feeling, like the world has quietly forgotten you, as though you've become just another background figure. The realization that life doesn't slow down for anyone can be deeply isolating. You may begin to feel abandoned, questioning whether you still matter in this fast-moving world. But here's where the real lesson emerges. Life's relentless momentum isn't something to resist. You can't control time, and you can't cling to people forever. The more you struggle to keep up, the more exhausted and defeated you may feel. Real strength lies in learning to release the need to control that flow. This is where solitude, something many people dread, becomes a gift. Rather than seeing isolation as something negative, it becomes a chance to deepen your connection with yourself. In that quiet space, you find a new kind of inner strength, one that doesn't rely on others, but is born from within. These quiet moments reveal perhaps the most vital truth of all. Your happiness and sense of worth don't need to come from the outside world, from friends, family, or society's recognition. They arise from being at peace within yourself. When you no longer depend on the world to affirm your value, you release yourself from the endless chase for approval. True contentment comes from standing tall, even when you feel forgotten, even when the world appears to have moved on without you. It's about embracing the joy found in who you are, the wisdom you've earned, and the life you've lived. The world will always keep moving, but you don't need to race after it. You have your own rhythm, your own path, and that's more than enough. Number 2, health becomes fragile. When we're young, we often carry the illusion that we're invincible. We push our bodies hard, staying up late, eating whatever we want, skipping workouts, and brushing off the quiet signals our bodies try to send us. Health feels like a given when you're full of energy, ready to take on whatever comes your way. We live as though we have endless time, as if our bodies will always recover, always bounce back. But as time moves forward, reality begins to hit, and it hits hard. Suddenly, simple tasks like climbing stairs, bending to tie your shoes, carrying groceries, or even just getting out of bed don't feel so easy anymore. You start noticing aches and stiffness that weren't there before. Your energy drops, and the resilience you once took for granted begins to fade. One morning, you wake up and feel the accumulated wear that time has left behind. The truth is, with age, health becomes more fragile. The very body that carried you through youthful adventures and challenges begins to require more attention, more care, and more respect. It's a difficult truth, especially when you're so used to pushing yourself without consequence. It often takes the loss of health for us to start valuing it. Only when strength begins to wane do we fully realize how much we've taken our bodies for granted. But within this sobering truth lies a vital lesson. Fragility is a wake-up call, a reminder to treat your body with the care and kindness it's always deserved. Your body isn't a machine that can be driven into the ground and still keep going. It's a gift, a delicate vessel that requires nurturing. This means more than just checking boxes for diet and exercise. It's about tuning in, understanding your limits, and honoring what your body needs. Give it the proper nourishment, rest, and movement. Manage your stress and be gentle with yourself. Don't wait until it's too late to start listening. Aging may bring physical decline, but it also brings the wisdom to care for yourself more consciously. Your body is the only one you'll ever get. It can't be replaced, and the clock can't be turned back. So honor your body now. Respect your health today, because one day you'll look back and understand just how precious it truly was. And while you can't stop the passage of time, you can choose to make the years ahead as vibrant and fulfilling as possible. Number 3, loneliness becomes a quiet companion. As we age, there's an often unspoken truth that creeps into our lives, the subtle, almost invisible arrival of loneliness. It doesn't come crashing in all at once. Instead, it builds slowly, gradually becoming part of your everyday reality. The people who were once close, who filled your days with conversation and presence, begin to move on. Children grow up, build their own families, and create lives of their own. Friends, once deeply embedded in your routines, may drift away, or in some cases be lost entirely. Relationships that once brought comfort and familiarity begin to shift, leaving a quiet emptiness behind. One day, you find yourself in a world that feels significantly quieter than it once did. The long days begin to stretch, and the nights can feel even longer, even stiller. What was once filled with laughter, voices, and motion now carries a kind of hush that lingers. This loneliness isn't just the absence of people. It's the recognition that some parts of your life have closed, and what remains is more solitary. But within that stillness lies something profound. There's a deeper truth that reveals itself, the chance to truly meet yourself. Perhaps for the first time in your life, without distractions, without noise, you're offered an opportunity to get to know who you really are. In that solitude, you learn that companionship doesn't always need to come from others. It can begin from within. Aging teaches you to grow comfortable in your own company. While it's only human to desire connection, true strength lies in finding peace in your own presence. These moments of quiet give you space to reflect, to grow, and to nurture the relationship you have with yourself. And that relationship, more than any other, may become the most meaningful of all. Loneliness, while difficult, can serve as a gentle teacher. It invites you to deepen your connection with yourself and to find joy in the simplest of things: a peaceful morning, a walk in nature, or the quiet satisfaction of self-reflection. Being alone does not have to equate to being lonely. Growing older helps you understand that the most essential relationship you'll ever cultivate is the one you have with yourself. It's about discovering inner peace, embracing contentment, and learning to be your own source of strength and comfort. So while loneliness may accompany old age, it can also guide you toward a richer, more authentic understanding of who you truly are. Number 4, regret lingers like a shadow. With age often comes one of life's hardest emotions to wrestle with: regret. It becomes a silent shadow, walking beside you, softly reminding you of things left undone, words left unspoken, or paths you didn't choose. There comes a moment when you look back and the what-ifs begin to echo louder than ever before. What if you had been bolder? What if you had chased that dream? What if you had stood up for yourself when it mattered? These thoughts can feel all-consuming as your mind replays key moments from the past, wishing for a second chance to do things differently. Regret, in many ways, becomes a constant presence, a reflection of missed opportunities, of relationships you didn't fully mend, and of time that now feels lost. The older you get, the more clearly those memories play out in your mind, tempting you to linger in them. But inside this heaviness lies one of life's greatest teachings. Regret doesn't have to be feared. As painful as it is, it's also a powerful reminder of how fleeting time truly is, and it pushes you to act on what's still within your control. The past may be permanent, but the present is not. And in the present, you hold real power. Regret can transform into wisdom if you allow it. It can become a guide that steers you toward living more deliberately, making better choices, and valuing each moment as it comes. Rather than letting regret weigh you down, allow it to remind you of what still matters. There is still time to say what you never said, to chase long-abandoned dreams, and to reconnect with the people you still care about. Aging teaches you to make peace with the past, not to forget it, but to honor it for what it was and to grow from it. Regret will always be a part of the journey, but it doesn't need to define who you are. As you continue to age, you begin to understand that every mistake, every missed chance, helped shape who you've become. That shadow of regret, it can lead you toward clarity, healing, and a renewed sense of purpose, if you're willing to let it. Number 5. The illusion of endless time fades. When you're young, time stretches out in front of you like an open field, full of possibility and promise. There's a strong sense that there's always more. More years to chase your dreams, more chances to make things right, more time to live how you want. But with every passing year, that illusion begins to unravel. Time starts slipping through your fingers, faster and faster, until you look back and wonder where it all went. One of the hardest realizations aging brings is the truth that time isn't infinite. It's fragile and fleeting. No matter how much you want more of it, the clock never stops ticking. Days blur together and years pass in what feels like moments. Eventually, the stark reality sets in. Time will run out for all of us. And yet this truth carries with it one of the most valuable lessons. Once you fully grasp how limited time is, you begin to appreciate the moments you still have. The illusion of endless tomorrows fades, and what remains is the undeniable value of today. Every day becomes something precious, not to be wasted on meaningless pursuits or fleeting distractions. Getting older teaches you to live more intentionally, to embrace the now, and to stop waiting for the perfect time to do what truly matters. You start focusing on what fills your heart, whether that's time with loved ones, meaningful experiences, or quiet joy. The need for approval, for possessions, or for societal milestones begins to fall away. In its place, you find a richer appreciation for the present. The smallest things, a morning breeze, a smile from someone you love, a quiet cup of coffee, begin to feel extraordinary. Time no longer feels like a resource to spend carelessly, but a gift to be treasured deeply. Aging strips away the illusion that time is abundant and replaces it with a powerful clarity. Life is short, yes, but that doesn't have to be frightening. It can be empowering. When you accept time's limits, you begin living with greater purpose, greater joy, and deeper awareness. Because in the end, it's not about how much time you've had, it's about how fully you've lived the time you were given. Number 6. You begin to feel invisible. As more years pass, you may begin to feel something unsettling, the sense that in many ways you've become invisible. In a culture that places youth on a pedestal and celebrates vitality above all else, aging can feel like fading into the background. You might notice your voice being overlooked, your presence being ignored, and your contributions being undervalued. It's as if the world, so busy and loud, no longer has time to see you. This can be one of the most difficult parts of growing older. There's a quiet pain in realizing that, to others, your relevance seems to fade with each passing year. You're no longer the energetic newcomer, the fresh face, or the center of attention. People might look past you, assume you have nothing new to say, or dismiss your wisdom as outdated. It's disheartening, and it can make you question your worth. But here's where another powerful truth reveals itself. Invisibility in the eyes of others forces you to turn inward, and in that inward gaze, you rediscover your true value. Your worth was never supposed to come from external validation. Not from applause, not from praise, and certainly not from societal trends. It comes from your lived experiences, your growth, your resilience, and the quiet strength you've cultivated over time. Aging invites you to let go of the need to be seen and to focus instead on truly seeing yourself. The more society overlooks you, the more you are given the chance to honor your own journey. To understand that your scars are stories, your wrinkles are wisdom, and your quieter voice holds more depth than ever before. Being invisible offers unexpected freedom, the freedom to stop seeking approval and to live fully by your own values. In that space, you find dignity, not in how others perceive you, but in how well you know yourself. Age may take away the spotlight, but it offers in return a richer, more grounded sense of self. In conclusion, aging is not easy, and the truths that come with it can feel heavy. The physical changes, the feeling of invisibility, the fading of time, all of it can seem overwhelming. But hidden within these difficult realities is a deep well of wisdom. Growing older is not a curse. It's a unique opportunity to see life through a lens that youth simply doesn't allow. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself in the most meaningful ways. When you release the need for outside validation, accept the fleeting nature of time, and learn to embrace the beauty of solitude, you begin to live in a more intentional, peaceful, and fulfilling way. So don't turn away from the hard truths of aging. Embrace them, because they carry with them the lessons that teach you how to truly live, how to let go of what doesn't matter, focus on what does, and walk forward with wisdom and peace. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.